You keep saying you want more peace, more success, more confidence, more money, more fulfillment. But can I ask you something? Have your standards risen to match the life you're asking for? Because wanting something and requiring something are not the same thing. Most people don't live at the level of their goals. They live at the level of their standards. And until your standards change, your life probably won't either. Let's get into it. This is Shou Talks, a journey through the rooms that shape who we are. Every room holds a lesson. Every lesson holds a choice. And every choice helps build the house you live in every day. Some rooms challenge you. Some rooms heal you. Some rooms reveal truths you've been avoiding. But every room exists for one reason: growth. So come on in, take a seat, and let's talk about it. The standards room is where we decide what's acceptable, not for other people, for ourselves. This room is about expectation, the minimum we're willing to tolerate, the effort we're willing to give, the excuses we're willing to accept. And here's what people misunderstand: standards aren't perfection, standards are consistency. Perfection says, I have to get it right every single time. Standards say, this is the level I expect from myself, even when I don't feel like it. Big difference. Because perfection creates shame. Standards create accountability. And accountability is where discipline begins. For a long time, I thought discipline meant becoming some superhuman version of myself. The woman who never misses a workout, never procrastinates, never gets overwhelmed, never drops the ball. And every time I fell short of that impossible image, I felt like I failed. But eventually I realized something. The strongest seasons of my life weren't built because I became perfect. They were built because I stopped negotiating with my standards. When I said I was going to train, I trained. When I committed to a goal, I showed up. Not perfectly, but consistently. And that changed everything. Your standards reveal what you actually believe. People love talking about what they want, but standards reveal what they truly believe they're worthy of. If you constantly tolerate chaos, you may have normalized chaos. If you constantly tolerate disrespect, you may have normalized disrespect. If you constantly abandon commitments to yourself, you may have normalized disappointment. Your standards are evidence of your beliefs, not your intention. And that's a hard truth because intentions sound good. Standards tell the truth. Every standard has a cost. Here's what nobody tells you: higher standards require sacrifice. You can't have elite results with average habits. You can't build trust while constantly breaking promises. You can't become who you're trying to become while protecting every comfort that's keeping you where you are. Every standard costs something: time, energy, convenience, comfort. The question isn't whether there's a price. The question is whether the life you're building is worth paying for. What you tolerate eventually becomes your reality. This might be the most important lesson in this room. Whatever you constantly tolerate eventually becomes normal. Missed goals become normal. Broken promises become normal. Disorganization becomes normal. Settling becomes normal. And once something feels normal, you stop questioning it. That's why standards matter. They interrupt drift. Powerlifting taught me this lesson in a way nothing else could. The bar doesn't care about your intention. It responds to your preparation, your consistency, your standards. You can't tell the platform how hard you wished. You show it what you practice. And I learned that success wasn't built on one incredible day. It was built on hundreds of ordinary days where I chose to honor my standards. The days nobody saw, the days I didn't feel motivated, the days I was tired, the days I wanted to skip it. That's where the results were built. Not on meet day, long before meet day. Take a minute and sit with these questions. Where in your life have your standards quietly slipped? What have you been tolerating that no longer aligns with who you're becoming? If someone looked at your daily actions, what standards would they say you currently live by? What's one standard you need to raise immediately? And be honest, not aspirational, actual, honest. Let's talk about how this looks like in real life. Raising your standards doesn't require changing your entire life tomorrow. It starts small. Maybe it's showing up on time. Maybe it's following through when you said you would. Maybe it's protecting your sleep. Maybe it's speaking to yourself with more respect. Maybe it's finally finishing something you've been avoiding. Small standards create bigger standards, and bigger standards create a stronger life. Stop waiting for motivation. Standards. Motivation comes and goes. Standards stay. As we leave the standards room, I want you to remember this. The life you're building isn't determined by your biggest dream. It's determined by your daily standard, not the version of you that shows up when everything is perfect. The version of you that shows up when nobody's watching, when you're tired, when you're frustrated, when it's inconvenient, because that's where discipline is born, not in motivation, not in inspiration, in standards. Raise what you require from yourself, and you'll eventually raise what becomes possible for your life. If this conversation spoke to you, share it with someone who's in the middle of building something bigger than themselves. Follow the podcast so you never miss a room. And if you're listening on YouTube or Spotify, leave a comment and tell me what's one standard you're raising in this season of your life. Until next time, protect your peace, honor your growth, and keep building your house. I'll see you in the next room.